You know what I find weird? All this yapping about race being a social construct. Like, who came up with that? Like, someone said it once, and now everyone's repeating it without really knowing why they're saying it. Because we might not like the term race. Like, I get it. The term race was invented by people who were racist, and they wanted to categorize people into different groups to make themselves be superior. I understand that. And that it is a social construct, as in, okay, if you are this, this, and that, then you're black. If you're this, this, and that, or if you're black, you are this, this, and that. If you're white, you are this, this, and that. And if you're whatever else, you're this, this, and that. And then if you're black and you don't fulfill all of these and that's, then you kind of like move either up the scale or down the scale or something like that. That makes it a social construct, I understand. The thing that I'm wondering about, though, is when you research it, like I looked on ChatGPT, then it says that there is no biological proof for race, which is not true. And I'm not just talking about skin complexion. And I'm not also talking about features, hair texture, being built a certain way. Those things indicate a certain lineage. And then also medically, how they would say, I mean, in America, they say it all the time, how black people have certain diseases more than white people, how maybe Asian people are more prone to certain conditions. And there are these categories, let's say in the US, which are largely used also in Europe, especially in Germany, black, white, Asian, South Asian, basically, if you put things under these broad terms, black, white, I understand how people might come up with the idea that race is a social construct, because that is a construct, but it is clear that people, for example, in America, the black people there who are of African descent, who are most of the time of Bantu African descent, that they will have certain biological similarities that are distinct to them. And then with that goes all the so-called black people on the American continent, because they all come from the same group of people, the same Bantu people that were in Africa. So you will find biological similarities amongst these groups. Also, when you have to treat them medically, it's important to know who you are, where you're from, which group you're from. We don't have to call it race, but if we say group, I mean, it might make us feel more comfortable. Because you can't say groupist, but you can say racist. So my question is, why are we so afraid of being grouped into, like, when we say race is a social construct? That's not entirely true. Maybe the idea to say that, the idea of race determining, the idea to use race to determine your value, your intellect, that is a social construct. But that there are different groups that are commonly called races, races, that is true. And also when you look it up, it says that there are more similarities between races than among single races. That's a lie. that's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's, again, something someone came up with. Because if you just think about it, logically, if you have, for example, again, Bantu people, or you have Europeans who are Germans, they all like at some point there was the first German, and then they spread, and then it became a nation. So it's like a family and an extended family. They will have similar traits, just like Bantu people have similar traits. And biologically, they're also proven, to be similar traits. That doesn't mean necessarily because, for example, you might think Bantu people are very artistic or very athletic, that they can't also be very academically sound and very scientifically interested or whatever. It doesn't mean that that determines all of what you are and what you're going to be forever. It just means it might be that you have a talent towards that side, but that doesn't mean that it has to be like that, because we've seen, people breaking out of, what their family usually does or what their family is talented in or has done for years and centuries and generations. But I also don't think there's anything wrong with saying, for example, Bantu people are very athletic. And then now we feel ashamed of that and say, oh no, but we're also good at math. Like that's great. Like you can be both. But I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being athletic. It's just denounced and seen as something bad because that's something a lot of Bantu, when I say Bantu, I mean Black people, people of African descent, but not all African descent. There are different tribes or different kinds of so-called Black people in Africa. Not every African is a Bantu. But I'm saying that the things that we have always been traditionally good at naturally are seen as worthless. Like, yeah, but what you gonna do with that? You can sing and dance, like, ugh. You're good at running, like, who cares? Until a non-Black person is good at that, then it's like, oh my gosh, have you seen them run? you know? Uh, so I don't think we need to look down on the things that we're naturally good at, because it just means, okay, we don't have to work hard on that one, but so we can focus on other things. We can focus on all the other things that we're interested in as well. And individuals might have a proclivity towards different things, computer science and economics and whatever, but might naturally just be good at being athletic. So the whole race is a social construct. I don't know. I always when I hear that, because people will use that and say, oh, gender is also a social construct, and this is like everything is just like people use that term now whenever it suits them, whenever they have an agenda to push. It's just a social construct. But when we come down to saying, okay, why do people of African descent in America, especially, seem to have sickle cell a lot, or sickle cell anemia, or seem to have diabetes a lot? Like why people of African descent might not be able to digest a certain type of food as well, and they end up developing food addictions, and that leads to obesity. And then we don't say it's a construct, because that's not a social construct, that is reality. I mean, Dr. Sebi always said you won't feed an ice bear the same thing as you would feed a gorilla. Just saying, they come from different locations, and therefore they have a different makeup, therefore they need different maintenance, different food, a different lifestyle. And that's what now was called race and abused to put certain people above and certain people below. So I'm not holding on to the word race. That's not what it's about for me. But for me, it's about when we say race is a construct, yeah, but that people have differences based on their heritage, which sometimes you can recognize by their skin color, or by their features and hair texture, that is a reality, you know. I was, yesterday I saw a clip on my Facebook. I still have Facebook, you know, I'm a millennial, so we started with Facebook back then. Of a white girl, I don't know if she was German or what, blonde and everything, singing a reggae song, like covering a song. And I didn't find it very good. You know, sometimes you have, of course, non-Jamaican, non-black people singing reggae songs, and they do a decent job, you know. I mean, of course, I'm biased. I'm of Jamaican descent, so if I hear someone who's not Jamaican sing reggae or dancehall, I'd be like, oh, side-eyeing you. Even if you are of color, if you're not Jamaican, I'll be super critical. But that's just me. I'm not saying everyone should be like that. That's just me. And then if you're white, yeah, I'll be critical, you know. And it was posted from Rhythm magazine or something, which is a German reggae magazine. And I mean, you can disagree with me, I don't really care, but we've seen, at least in my lifetime, I've seen many times how white people, European people, people of European descent, whatever, appropriated, I mean, not just during my lifetime, for many centuries, but especially in my lifetime, I have seen how European people have appropriated Black culture. And when I talk about appropriation, I don't mean you just, you know, singing reggae, or you wearing braids or dreadlocks, or you know, doing something that traditionally African people do or Asian people do, or that. I don't care. I don't have a problem with that. Do whatever rocks floats your boat, or, you know, I don't care. The problem I have with it, however, is if they non-Africans do it and end up being recognized and successful. As I said a while ago, like, yeah, a lot of Bantu people are very athletic. A lot of Bantu people sing and dance very well because it's a form of worship. Like, traditionally in our blood, yes, I'm saying in our blood, it has been a form of worship to the Most High to be able to sing and dance for the Most High, not for an audience, not for money, not for MTV or YouTube, but for the Most High. So that's why we've always been good at that. And it's not a big deal, you know, it's just like, so I understand, you know, when it's not seen as a big deal for us. However, if a white person does the same thing, maybe not even as good, it's like, oh my gosh, look at that, that's amazing. The whole world goes crazy and throws all their money at them. And they become, you know, the new gatekeeper for that genre or that discipline or whatever, you know. And then we say, you know, actually, yeah, it's a cultural thing for me, but I really want to live off it because I really love doing it. I'm even amongst the African people, I'm even better than all of them. I can sing and dance even better, or I can run even faster than the majority of them. Then I think it's valid for them to also be able to make a living off of it, to make money off of it, you know. But that's like, it's harder. It is made much harder for a person of African descent to do so. So that is appropriation. Again, my problem is not you wearing braids. I don't care. But if it's like, oh my gosh, the new hairstyle, and you're the inventor now with your blonde hair. So I saw this girl singing this song from this, posted by this German reggae magazine, and I was like, oh, here we go again. You know, European girl sings a song, not even really good. Like, she tries. I can say she tries. You know, she tried to sing it really authentic with, you know, putting something in it. but it still seemed like a mockery to me. It seemed like she's making fun of a culture. Like she heard them sing in a certain way, and she tries to sing like that now, and she doesn't get it. So I feel if you want to sing reggae songs and you're not from, and that is not even just for white people, that is for people in general, you don't come from the same struggle as the majority of the reggae and dancehall artists from Jamaica. You just don't. You don't have, not even struggle, you don't have that life experience. Like you're not from there, you don't, and you like the music though, and you want to sing reggae. I would say, first of all, sing your own songs. Like make your own reggae songs, and sing about your life, sing about what's valid to you and your faith, your religion, Jaja City, Jaja, and you're not, you're not Rasta, like, I just don't think that's authentic. And, yeah, if that's what you like and you want to do that, like sing your own song, or choose a song then at least that suits your experience more. Or even if you feel like you have to sing this particular song, sing with your own voice, sing with your own authenticity, However, I posted, usually I don't engage in internet stuff. Like I comment sometimes here and there, but I don't go back and forth with people because I got life to live, But I did comment, mockery, just the word mockery, because it just didn't feel authentic to me. So, of course, her appearance plays a role in me feeling that that is a mockery, but more than that, it's not just her appearance. So someone commented under my comment, a white man. I'll look up his name. I'll put it in the description for the video. I'll put his name so you can find him. He commented racism. I was like, ooh, racism. He found racism in my comment. So I did respond, and I was like, sure, whatever floats your boat. Again, like, do you, boo? If you think that's racism, I feel like you're reading more into it than was written, but go with it. So I just commented, sure. And then he went on, and I'm like, yeah, what did he say? Like, you should stop speaking English, or you should stop using our language, and you should stop. Oh yeah, that's what he said. I should stop doing yoga because it's not my culture, and I should stop using our language, the whites language. I was like, so I wanted to respond, and my response would have been, if I would have responded, if there's one little thing that we push back on, like we, as I guess the blacks, right, that we push back on and don't see a clap along with all of your endeavors and say, please leave this one thing alone. Like you can do everything. The world is yours, literally, but just leave this one thing alone, then we're racist. Then we are the racist. Then it's reverse racism, reverse racism or something, right? Yet we don't really have, especially, living in the West, usually we don't really have the power. We don't have those magazines. We don't have no TV channels. We just have an opinion, just like, that looks like a mockery. We don't like it. But we're not allowed to have that. We're supposed to see a clap along with all of their endeavors, because they're just great, right? And then we have to stop speaking the language that they forced us to speak, and force us to forget our indigenous languages on the slave ships. Yes, I'm going all the way there, on the slave ships, because I'm Jamaican. So in my ancestry, there were slave ships. So we try to mix our African languages with their bastardized English language. And now here we are today, the descendant of uh, Africa, of Bantu nations, only able to speak the language of the colonizer. If I could, I use this damn Duolingo to learn, Zulu, Kiswahili. um, but if I could speak Ewe fluently, if I could speak Twi fluently, if I could speak Meduneta fluently, if I could speak Lingala fluently, if I could speak all of these ancient languages fluently, do you think I would waste my time speaking these European languages that my ancestors were forced to learn? But I didn't post that comment because I was like, no, my life is too precious for me to go into a Facebook. I mean, who's on Facebook? Only old people, right? To go into a Facebook back and forth with some white dude who felt like, yeah, I'm going to show her, I'm going to defend my white queen. Defend your white queen, boo. Do it. Like, do it. I love that for you. Like, you go, whites. Like, I think it's great. Defend your white queen, and do your thing. But also, let me have my opinion. I don't hate the girl. I'm not angry at her. I don't necessarily think she's racist. I don't know her. I just only want the best for her. May she live her life and be blessed. My advice is just don't post videos that look like a mockery to reggae music. That's all. If singing is your thing, go ahead and sing. Even sing reggae, But my opinion will remain that it looks like a mockery to me. And I'm allowed to have that opinion. And if that makes me racist, okay, but I disagree. It is just an opinion. As I said, I'm also not going to run around and pretend to be something I'm not, or behave in a way that might be embarrassing to a certain culture that I'm not from, because that's just not my thing. I just think it's embarrassing. I'm not even saying I do that out of respect to that culture and to this culture. I don't, it's not even that deep. It's just, I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to embarrass myself. See, that is even almost appropriating, because I don't have no African accent. But I love when some Africans, West Africans, don't say embarrass when they say embarrass. I like how that sounds. That's why I say embarrass myself. But I'm not supposed to, because it could come across as a mockery, right? But I would never mock my Bantu brothers and sisters from the continent. However, now I'm rambling and going into nonsense. But my point of this video, if you watched all these minutes, is really that, number one, when people say race is a social construct, meh, yes and no. Like, to some extent, yeah, but not all the way. We can use different words then. I think people are just hung up on the word race and what the oppressing societies have made of it, or why they used it, And of course, if you have common sense, you disagree with that, so do I. But I think it's okay to agree that different groups, different tribes then, different nations have different appearances, different biological makeups, different, traditionally different interests, different talents. And I think that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that is going to be harmful to anyone to admit that. I think it's rather harmful to say, oh no, we're all the same and there's no difference and we're all exactly, because it's not true. Like, we're gonna realize, interacting with other people, with other nations, that they are different. You know, some cultures can drink a lot of alcohol and they'll be fine. Others just drink a little sip and they're out for the night and for the next day. Some drink milk and it's fine. Others drink milk and they fart up the whole place, you know. It's just what it is. Some eat meat and are fine. Some eat meat and they cannot digest it for the life of them. So I don't know why we always have to be like, no, we're all the same, la, 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 la. We're not. And I think that's okay. And if you can't sing roots reggae songs, don't do it. That's all.